What's going on YouTube? I'm bringing you another PU battle against a guy by the name of AthleticSnorlax. My team is even more random than ever with 2 defensive things and 4 attackers. His on the other hand has 2 attackers, 3 walls and a jump bluff, which can be either of these. How will this matchup turn out then? Let's find out! I lead with MC Hammer just to set up my rocks, seeing that his team is quite weak to them, and take a toxic in exchange. Then I hit him with Stab's super effective Stone Edge, but a Violite Volabit takes it like a monster, which tells me that he is a physical wall, so I switch to Mind You, as he just roots off the damage. Now I set up a Rain Dance on his switch to Ketleon, and hit him with Ice Beam first, so my Surf is a neutral hit after a color change, but he takes all of my attacks, knocks off my damn proc, sets up his own Stealth Rocks and then recovers all of my damage. And I realized that this isn't going anywhere, so I switched to my wasted Spinda to threaten him with superpower. He T-waves me on the switch, but I don't really mind that, since that only makes me faster in Trick Room, which I set up right now. He switches to Whirlipede to take superpower, and this is a really slow paced part of the game. Basically what's happening, I keep using superpower to get my attack and defense up, setting up a Trick Room and getting paralyzed from time to time. After he sets up all of his spikes, he starts spamming poison traps, but with +4 defense they don't do almost anything. I realize on the way that my panda has frustration with maximum happiness, which makes it completely useless, and this isn't the only thing wrong with my team, as you will see later on. Anyway, eventually I get my attack and defense up to +6, set up a Trick Room and take his Whirlipede out with Sucker Punch. He brings back his Volabit thinking that he can stall me with Roost, but thankfully I used only 6 superpowers so far, meaning that I am able to take this thing out with remaining 2. Now in comes Simipour, but Spinda doesn't play any games, and at +6 Sucker Punch is in fact a one-hit KO. The fact that my frustration has 0 base power bites me hard right there, because otherwise this game would end up in Spinda sweep, but what actually happens is his jump bluff sets up a sub as I set up a Trick Room, but my only reliable attack doesn't do absolutely anything, and he just lead sheet stalls my wasted panda until it dies. I go to my Unpheasant and finally break this substitute with Steel Wing as he puts me to sleep. I decided to stay in, allow him to set up another sub as well as Leech Seed, and because this Unpheasant is carrying a Tailwind rather than Roost for some reason, I set it up on the turn I wake up and then break his sub with U-turn. I send out Wood, get Annihilate Raid by all entry hazards, but Toxic Spikes actually help me, making his Sleep Powder useless. Now because my Simisear outspeeds him with a Tailwind up, I know that he will switch out to Rapidash to get a Flash Fire boost. This monkey is a special attacker with Nasty Plot, Fire Blast, Grass Knot and Hidden Power. The only problem is, I have a feeling, a deja vu if you will, that this hidden power is not actually what it's supposed to be. So I open my little file and find out that it is indeed a HP Ice, providing that great coverage against dragons, seen in PU once in a blue moon, at the cost of being completely walled by fire types, which are seen in almost every team. So yeah, round of applause ladies and gentlemen for my excellent moveset. Thank you, thank you. On top of that, I can't switch out because all of these entry hazards, so I stay in and go for a Fire Blast, hoping that maybe he will overpredict and stay in, but he does switch to Rapidash and receive a Flash Fire boost. I hit him with Grass Knot to do any damage, and he takes me out with a Wild Charge, but takes a lot of recoil in process, which brings him down below half. That is why I bring Sudowoodo, thinking that Sucker Punch will take him out from this range. He lives with a little amount of HP, but Life Orb Recoil takes him out, whereas I survive a low kick combined with a toxic damage. He goes back to Jump Bluff and my Stone Edge unfortunately misses, giving him a free substitute. So now Pachirisu comes in and breaks it with a Super Fang, and seeing the amount of HP he has after creating another sub, my plan is to do some damage with Super Fang and then break it with Volt Switch, which allows me to switch to Dugong without a Leech Seed on the field. So that is exactly what happens, and now because of his own toxic spikes, he can't put me to sleep, and because I have Ice Beam, he can't set up a Leech Seed neither, so he decides to toxic stall me, which eventually results in double down. His last Pokemon is Ketleon, and by now I know his entire moveset, so at first I just wanted to keep him at half of his HP, allowing Unpheasant to easily finish the job with Sky Attack. I realized that he's trying to recover stall me, but luckily my Pachirisu carries Toxic, so ironically now I'm the one stalling him out. My own Toxic eventually takes its toll and Pachirisu goes down, but I still have Eagle Talon, which isn't affected by any spikes, and even though he T-Waves me and knocks off my Power Herb, he can't do anything else to me, and it's just matter of time before he goes down. So just for the style points I wanted to change his type to Bug with U-turn and then demolish him with Sky Attack. Unfortunately I get paralyzed and that doesn't happen, but toxic damage takes him out, so that will be the game. Good game, AthleticSnorlax, really came down to the wire, but as I said before, Pachirisu on my team equals victory. I hope Smogon won't ban it for this reason. As always, if you guys enjoyed, likes or comments are always nice. See you all tomorrow.